Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready to embark on an incredible journey through time and meaning. Today, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. Or, if you're watching, let your mind drift. Picture the vast, boundless skies stretching over early America. Imagine the endless expanse, the quiet wilderness, the hopeful dawn of a new nation. What did those pioneers, those dreamers, those nation builders see when they looked up? What whispered to their hearts as they forged a new identity? It's truly fascinating, isn't it? How symbols hold such incredible power. They're not just pretty pictures or random choices. No, symbols are the very soul of a nation, the beating heart of an idea. Think about it. Countries across the globe meticulously choose animals, specific colors, intricate emblems, all to express who they are, what they stand for, and what they aspire to become. These choices are deeply woven into their history, their values, their very identity. They become iconic, instantly recognizable, carrying generations of stories and aspirations within them. From the majestic lions guarding ancient kingdoms to the vibrant dragons soaring through Eastern folklore, every symbol tells a tale, whispers a belief, and projects an image to the world. They're a shortcut to understanding a culture, a silent declaration of purpose. A simple flag, a national animal, a particular flower. These aren't trivial details. They are profound statements, carefully selected to represent the collective spirit of a people. And that brings us to a really compelling question, one that has sparked debate, amusement, and deep thought for centuries. When America was just beginning to define itself, seeking its own unique voice and identity on the world stage, it too needed a powerful symbol, a creature to embody its nascent spirit, its strength, its ideals. So, here's the million-dollar question, one that perhaps you've never truly pondered. Why did this emerging nation, this grand experiment in freedom and democracy, choose the magnificent, soaring, bold eagle to represent its aspirations? It's a powerful image, isn't it? The bold eagle, with its piercing gaze, its incredible wingspan, its reputation as a master of the skies, certainly projects an image of strength, freedom, and majesty. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, why did they not choose the humble, grounded, and undeniably American turkey? Yes, you heard that right. The turkey. It might sound a bit silly at first glance, perhaps even a little absurd. But believe it or not, there was a very serious, very vocal argument made for the turkey. Why was such a common bird even considered for such an important national role? What qualities did some early American thinkers see in the turkey that they felt perfectly captured the essence of the new republic? It's a tale far more complex and captivating than you might imagine, full of surprising insights into the minds of America's founders, their hopes, their fears, and their vision for the future. The choice wasn't made lightly, nor was it universally agreed upon. There were passionate discussions, eloquent arguments, and deep philosophical musings that went into selecting this pivotal national emblem. The bald eagle, as iconic as it is today, wasn't the only contender, nor was its victory an easy one. This isn't just a story about birds. It's a story about the birth of a nation, about the values it sought to embody, and about the sometimes contentious process of crafting an identity. It's about how symbols become ingrained in our collective consciousness, shaping how we see ourselves and how the world sees us. So, get ready to dive deep with me as we unravel this historical mystery. We're going to explore the compelling arguments for both the bald eagle and the turkey, discover the surprising perspectives of figures like Benjamin Franklin, and ultimately understand why one soared to become America's enduring symbol, while the other became a holiday feast. It's a story of vision, debate, and the powerful role of imagery in defining who we are. Stick around, because this journey through the sky of symbols is just beginning, and I promise you, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. If you're as curious as I am, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on the rest of this incredible series. Your support means the world, and I can't wait to share more with you. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating origins of America. Right after that monumental moment in 1776, we were talking about Chapter 2 of our journey, the birth of a nation and the search for its symbol. Imagine the scene. It's the summer of 1776. The air is buzzing with revolutionary spirit, and the Declaration of Independence has just been bravely signed. This wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a defiant roar for freedom, proclaiming to the world that these 13 colonies were now united, sovereign states. They were no longer under British rule. They were the United States of America. But here's the thing. A nation, especially a brand new one forged in the fires of revolution, needs more than just a declaration. It needs an identity, a visual representation of its ideals, its strength, and its aspirations. The Founding Fathers, those brilliant minds who risked everything for liberty, understood this deeply. They knew that to truly solidify this new nation, they needed a powerful emblem, a national symbol that could speak volumes without saying a single word. Something majestic, something meaningful, something that would resonate with every citizen and command respect on the world stage. They weren't looking for just any pretty picture. They wanted a symbol that embodied the very essence of their revolutionary principles. Liberty, independence, courage, and unity. It had to be something that would inspire future generations, remind them of the sacrifices made, and represent the hopeful future they envisioned. So, just a few weeks after that historic signing, the Continental Congress, with incredible foresight, got straight to work. On July 4th, 1776, after celebrating their new freedom, they passed a resolution. This wasn't about more war or political maneuvering. It was about defining their very soul. The resolution called for the creation of a great seal for the United States of America. This wasn't a trivial task. It was considered paramount to establishing their national identity. Now, designing a national emblem isn't something you just whip up over coffee. It requires deep thought, collaboration, and a profound understanding of what this new nation stood for. So, Congress did what any good legislative body does. They formed a committee, and not just any committee, but one stacked with some of the most influential and thoughtful figures of the time. The very first committee, appointed the same day the Declaration was adopted, was an all-star lineup. It included Benjamin Franklin, the witty polymath and diplomat John Adams, the passionate advocate for independence, and Thomas Jefferson, the eloquent author of the Declaration itself. Talk about brain power. These gentlemen understood the gravity of their task. They weren't just artists or designers. They were philosophers, statesmen, and visionaries. They began to brainstorm, throwing around ideas, symbols, and concepts that they felt truly represented the spirit of America. They delved into classical history, ancient mythology, and even contemporary political thought to find the perfect imagery. Franklin, with his characteristic pragmatism and love for nature, suggested an image of Moses parting the Red Sea, with Pharaoh in his chariot being overwhelmed by the waters, and a pillar of fire descending from above. The motto he proposed was, "Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God." Pretty powerful stuff, reflecting the idea of divine support for their struggle against oppression. John Adams, ever the classicist, leaned towards a design featuring the Greek hero Hercules, representing strength and virtue, standing between the figures of sloth and virtue, urging the young nation to choose the path of righteousness. His suggested motto, "Posterity is the reward of virtue," emphasized the long-term benefits of moral rectitude. And then there was Thomas Jefferson, whose artistic and intellectual flair often found expression in classical allegories. He proposed an image of the children of Israel in the wilderness, led by a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. This symbolized divine guidance for a people embarking on a new journey, and it echoed Franklin's sentiment. But their task wasn't just about individual preferences. It was about finding a consensus, a symbol that could unite diverse opinions and represent the collective aspirations of all 13 states. They worked diligently, sketching out ideas, debating meanings, and trying to distill the very essence of American identity into a single, compelling image. This committee presented its findings to Congress in August of 1776. While their ideas were incredibly thoughtful and steeped in rich symbolism, they weren't immediately adopted. This often happens with big, important projects, right? Sometimes it takes a few tries to get it just right. The initial proposals, though grand, perhaps felt a little too specific. Or maybe they just didn't quite capture the broad, unifying vision that Congress was ultimately looking for. So, the design of the Great Seal became a lingering project, a puzzle to be solved as the nation continued to fight for its survival. It moved through different hands, different committees, and different ideas over the next few years. This wasn't a sign of failure, but rather a testament to the immense importance placed on this symbol. Everyone wanted it to be perfect, to truly embody the new American experiment. This search for a national emblem wasn't just about creating a logo. It was an act of self-definition for a fledgling nation. It was about articulating who they were, what they believed in, and what they aspired to be. Not just for themselves, but for the world to see. And it reminds us that even at the very beginning, with so much uncertainty, the founders understood the profound power of symbols to shape identity and inspire a people. The journey to find the perfect symbol was just beginning, and it would involve more twists, turns, and brilliant minds before the final, iconic design emerged. But the seed was planted in 1776, right after that Declaration of Freedom, showing us that even amidst the chaos of war, the desire to define their national spirit was paramount. What an incredible time in history, right? This ongoing quest for identity is something every nation, and even every individual, goes through. It's a powerful reminder that symbols aren't just static images. They are living representations of our shared values and aspirations. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical journey today. If you found this dive into America's early days as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, subscribe for more historical deep dives, and let me know in the comments what you think about the initial ideas for the Great Seal. Your engagement helps this channel grow, and I love hearing your thoughts. See you next time. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into American history, specifically into the fascinating origins of one of its most iconic symbols, the Great Seal of the United States. You know, the one you see on official documents, dollar bills, and everywhere else? Well, it wasn't always eagles and olive branches. In fact, its journey began with some of the most brilliant minds of their time, grappling with ideas that might surprise you. We're kicking off Chapter 3 of Our Series, focusing on the first Great Seal Committee. Imagine this. The year is 1776. The ink on the Declaration of Independence is barely dry, and the newly formed United States of America needs an official emblem, a visual representation of its identity and aspirations. This wasn't just about a cool logo. It was about solidifying a nation's soul. So, who got this monumental task? None other than a dream team of founding fathers. Benjamin Franklin, the witty Thomas Jefferson, the eloquent architect of liberty, and John Adams, the passionate advocate for independence. Can you imagine the intellectual firepower in that room? These three giants were tasked with creating the very first design for the Great Seal. Talk about pressure. Their mission was clear. They needed something ancient, something symbolic, something that would encapsulate the spirit of this brand new republic. They weren't just looking for pretty pictures. They were seeking profound meaning, a visual narrative that would speak volumes about their revolutionary ideals. It was a search for roots, for a foundation in history and philosophy that could anchor their nascent nation. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. What did these esteemed gentlemen propose? Well, if you're expecting an eagle soaring majestically or a fierce turkey, have it oh wait. Their initial ideas were quite different, and incredibly telling about their individual perspectives and the influences of their era. Benjamin Franklin, everyday pragmatist, and a man deeply rooted in a sense of divine providence, suggested scenes from the Bible. He envisioned an image depicting Moses parting the Red Sea, with Pharaoh and his army drowning, and a pillar of fire illuminating the Israelites. Below this, the matu rebellion to tyrants' obedience. To God. Talk about a powerful statement. Franklin clearly saw the American Revolution as a modern-day exodus, a divine deliverance from oppression. It was a message of liberation, and a stern warning to future tyrants. Thomas Jefferson, on the other hand, with his classical education and Enlightenment ideals, leaned heavily toward classical imagery. He proposed a depiction of the children of Israel in the wilderness, led by a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. He also suggested a reverse side, showing Hengist and Horsa, legendary leaders of the Anglo-Saxon invasion of Britain, symbolizing the American ancestors who brought principles of liberty to the continent. For Jefferson, the seal needed to resonate with the great republics of antiquity, drawing upon their wisdom and grandeur. His vision was rooted in the historical lineage of freedom and self-governance. And John Adams, Adams, known for his deep respect for history and law, also contributed his thoughts, though less is famously recorded about his specific initial visual proposal compared to Franklin and Jefferson. His input would have undoubtedly shaped the committee's direction, pushing for elements that conveyed stability, justice, and the rule of law. He was always keen on ensuring that the new republic was founded on solid, enduring principles. So, as you can see, the initial concepts were far from the final design we know today. No eagles, no turkeys, no olive branches just yet. Instead, we have biblical epics and classical allegories, reflecting the profound intellectual and philosophical currents flowing through the minds of America's founders. They were grappling with huge questions. What kind of nation were they building? What historical parallels best represented their struggle and their hopes? This first committee, despite their grand ideas, ultimately didn't produce the final Great Seal. Their proposals were insightful and fascinating, but the process of creating such a monumental symbol was a long and evolving one, involving multiple committees and many revisions over the years. But their work laid the essential groundwork, setting the stage for the debates and deliberations that would eventually lead to the iconic design we recognize today. It just goes to show that even the most established symbols have complex, often surprising, origin stories. The Great Seal wasn't just plucked out of thin air. It was forged in the crucible of intellectual debate, historical reflection, and a deep desire to define a new nation. What do you think of these initial ideas from Franklin and Jefferson? Would you have preferred a biblical scene or a classical one for the Great Seal? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please give us a thumbs up, share this video with a fellow history buff. And Auntie, forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next chapter, where we explore what happened next in a seal as fascinating. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. What does the word freedom truly mean? Is it just the ability to do whatever we want, whenever we want? Or is it something deeper, something more profound? For the early Americans, fresh from the crucible of revolution, this wasn't just a philosophical question. It was the very foundation upon which they were attempting to build a new nation. They had fought and bled for an ideal, and now they needed to give that ideal a face, form a symbol that could speak for them across generations. They knew this symbol had to be powerful. It needed to embody the raw strength required to break the chains of an empire. It needed to represent the unwavering vigilance necessary to guard their newfound independence against all threats, both foreign and domestic. And most importantly, it had to stand for the very essence of liberty itself. But how do you capture such a monumental concept in a single image? This wasn't just about designing a flag or a seal. It was about defining America's soul. The process was far from simple. Imagine the debates, the passionate arguments that must have filled the halls of Philadelphia and Boston. Every suggestion, every idea was scrutinized. Should it be a lion, symbolizing courage and might, like the monarchies they had just overthrown? No, that felt too much like the old world, the very system they had rejected. Perhaps a dove, representing peace. But a dove alone couldn't convey the struggle, the fierce determination it took to win their liberty. This search for a symbol was a journey into the heart of their own identity. It forced them to ask fundamental questions. Who are we? What do we stand for? What do we want to become? They weren't just a collection of colonies anymore. They were attempting to become one people, united by a shared belief in self-governance and individual rights. The symbol they chose would have to reflect this audacious experiment. Think about the sheer variety of proposals that were likely considered. Mythological figures, native animals, symbols from classical antiquity all were on the table. Some might have argued for Hercules, a figure of immense strength who overcame impossible odds. Others might have looked to Cincinnatus, the Roman farmer who left his plow to save the Republic and then willingly returned to his simple life. a powerful statement against the allure of permanent power. Each choice carried with it a different vision for the nation's future. A symbol of brute force would suggest a future of conquest, while a symbol of quiet virtue would point towards a more agrarian, peaceful existence. The committee tasked with this monumental job, which included giants like Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams, understood the weight of their decision. Their first proposal was incredibly complex, featuring a scene from the Book of Exodus with Moses leading the Israelites across the Red Sea, a powerful allegory for their own escape from tyranny. On the reverse, they envisioned Hengist and Horsa, the two Saxon chiefs from whom they believed their principles of government were derived. It was a design rich in historical and biblical meaning, but perhaps too intricate, too academic for a symbol meant to unite an entire populace, many of whom were unlettered. The debate raged on. It was a reflection of the larger conversation happening across the 13 states. Was America to be a new Rome, a beacon of law and order, or a new Athens, a cradle of democracy and philosophy, or something entirely new, something the world had never seen before? The symbol had to be more than just an emblem. It had to be a promise of a government of the people, BT people, and for the people. This is where the story takes a fascinating turn. While eagles had been used in heraldry for centuries, often associated with the Roman legions and imperial power, the Americans saw something different. They didn't see the eagle of Caesar or Napoleon, an emblem of conquest. They saw a creature native to their own continent, a bird of breathtaking majesty and fierce independence. The bald eagle. It wasn't an import from European mythology. It was a symbol born of the American wilderness. It soared over the highest peaks, a master of its domain, beholden to no king or master. It possessed sharp eyes, a perfect metaphor for the vigilance required to protect liberty. It was a devoted parent, fiercely protecting its young, just as the new nation must protect its citizens and its future. Its majestic white head and tail feathers gave it a distinguished, noble appearance, without the aristocratic baggage of crowns and scepters. Of course, not everyone was on board. Benjamin Franklin famously made his case for the turkey. In a letter to his daughter, he half-jokingly argued that the bald eagle was a bird of bad moral character, that it was lazy and often stole fish from other birds. The turkey, he contended, was a much more respectable bird, a true original native of America, and though a little vain and silly, it was a bird of courage that would not hesitate to attack a grenadier of the British Guards. It's a charming and very Franklin-esque argument, but ultimately, the eagle's sheer power and majestic presence won the day. On June 20th, 1782, after 6 years and 3 different committees, the Continental Congress finally adopted the Great Seal of the United States. At its heart was the bald eagle. But it wasn't just any eagle. This was a uniquely American eagle. In one talon it clutched an olive branch, with 13 leaves and 13 olives, signifying the power to make peace. In the other, it held a bundle of 13 arrows, symbolizing the power to make war. Crucially, the eagle's head is turned towards the olive branch, indicating a preference for peace. Above the eagle's head, a crest with 13 stars forms a new constellation, representing the new state, taking its place among the other sovereign powers. And in its beak, the eagle holds a scroll inscribed with the motto E pluribus unum, out of many, one. This simple phrase captured the very essence of the American experiment, the creation of a single, unified nation from 13 separate and diverse colonies. Every element was deliberate, every detail packed with meaning. The number 13, representing the original states, appears throughout the design. The shield on the eagle's breast, with its 13 red and white stripes, represents the states united under and supported by a blue chief, which represents Congress. The shield is unsupported, signifying that the United States of America must rely on its own virtue. This symbol, forged in the fires of debate and revolution, was more than just a picture. It was a declaration. It declared to the world that this new nation valued strength, but preferred peace. It showed that it was vigilant and protective of its hard-won freedoms. It proclaimed that, from many disparate parts, a single, strong, and independent nation had emerged. It was a visual representation of the ideals laid out in the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So, the next time you see the Great Seal of the United States on a dollar bill or a government building, take a moment to look closer. It's not just a bird. It is the culmination of a profound national conversation. It is a symbol worthy of freedom, a testament to the early Americans' struggle not only to win their independence, but to define the very identity of the nation they were creating. It is a reminder that freedom isn't a passive state. It is an active pursuit, requiring strength, vigilance, and a constant striving for unity. And that is a story worth remembering. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into America's past. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the symbols and stories that have shaped our world. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-soaring high into history with Chapter 5 of our incredible journey. Enter the bald eagle. Get ready to discover how this majestic bird became one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. So, imagine this. It's 1782. The fledgling United States is just finding its footing after winning its independence. The Founding Fathers are buzzing with ideas, not just about governance, but about identity. What would represent this new, bold nation? What symbol could encapsulate its spirit, its aspirations, and its unique place in the world? And that's when, almost as if on cue, the bald eagle enters the discussion. It wasn't just any bird. It was an icon waiting to happen. Think about it. The bald eagle. What comes to mind? Power, freedom, an untamed spirit, right? This wasn't some random choice. The bald eagle is, and always has been, uniquely North American. You won't find it naturally occurring on other continents, making it a perfect, indigenous symbol for a nation carving out its own destiny. It's a bird of immense power, capable of incredible feats of flight, soaring effortlessly above the highest peaks. Its wingspan is impressive, its eyesight legendary, and its presence commands respect. But it wasn't just its raw power that captivated the early Americans. There was an undeniable beauty to it, that striking white head, those piercing eyes, that proud, regal gaze. It seemed to embody everything the young nation aspired to be: strong, free, and dignified. It projected an image of self-reliance and sovereignty, traits that were absolutely crucial for a nation that had just fought for its independence. It represented the ideal of liberty, soaring high above the challenges, watchful and ever. This bird wasn't just admired, it quickly became central to the very identity of the United States. In fact, it didn't take long for the bald eagle to make its grand debut in one of the most significant national symbols, the Great Seal of the United States. If you look at those early sketches, those initial concepts for what would represent the nation officially, the eagle is right there, front and center. It was almost an immediate consensus that this magnificent creature was the right fit. Now, you might wonder, what were the other options? There were certainly other ideas floated around. Some suggested mythical creatures, others focused on classical symbols, but none had the natural resonance and sheer visual impact of the bald eagle. It was a living, breathing testament to the wild, untamed beauty of the continent, and its characteristics perfectly mirrored the hopes and dreams of a new republic. So, when the designers of the Great Seal began their work, they weren't just drawing an animal. They were interpreting a vision. They were trying to capture the very soul of America in an emblem. The eagle, with its powerful talons, its keen eyes, and its soaring flight, offered a visual language that transcended words. It spoke of strength and unity, of watchful liberty, and of an unwavering commitment to freedom. It is truly fascinating to trace the bald eagle, his journey from being a discussion point in 1782 to becoming the enduring national emblem we recognize today. It reminds us that symbols are not just static images. They carry deep meaning, stories, and aspirations. They connect us to our past and inspire us for our future. What do you think of the bald eagle as a national symbol? Does it still resonate with you today? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this dive into history, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more captivating content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next chapter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey everyone, welcome back to our deep dive into the story of America's most iconic bird. Today, in Chapter 6, we're journeying back in time, long before the Stars and Stripes ever flew, to explore a narrative woven deep into the fabric of this continent. We're talking about the bald eagle's role as a native spirit in feathers. Before the colonists arrived, before the founding fathers debated its symbolism, this magnificent bird already held a place of profound reverence among hundreds of Native American tribes. It wasn't just a bird of prey, it was a sacred messenger, a living embodiment of spiritual power and earthly strength. Think about it from their perspective. The eagle soars higher than any other bird, touching the heavens, bridging the gap between the mortal world and the realm of the Great Spirit. For many tribes, seeing an eagle was a direct sign, a communication from the Creator. Its feathers weren't mere decorations. They were sacred objects, earned through acts of bravery or granted as signs of high honor. To possess an eagle feather was to carry a piece of that divine connection, a symbol of truth, integrity, and power. This connection to the divine also translated into a powerful symbol of courage and strength, especially in the context of the warrior spirit. The eagle is a fearless hunter. It's powerful, precise, and unyielding in its pursuit. Warriors would look to the eagle as a model of courage and tenacity. They would emulate its spirit in battle, hoping to channel its focus and strength. Eagle feathers in a headdress or on a shield weren't just for show. They were a prayer for guidance, a testament to the wearer's bravery, and a source of spiritual protection. For example, among the Lakota people, the eagle, or Wanbli, is a central figure in their cosmology. It represents Wakantonka, the Great Spirit, and its feathers are used in the most sacred ceremonies, from the Sundance to healing rituals. The Pawnee believed the eagle's cry could signal changes in weather or the approach of an enemy, serving as a celestial guardian. The Cherokee have stories that speak of the eagle as a noble creature that chose to help humanity, bringing fire and light from the sun. Each tribe had its own unique stories, ceremonies, and interpretations, but the underlying theme of respect and awe was universal. From the Haida in the Pacific Northwest to the Iroquois in the Northeast, the eagle was a central character in their spiritual and cultural lives. Its image was carved into totem poles, painted on tipis, and woven into their oral histories. This wasn't a symbol chosen by a committee. It was a relationship built over thousands of years of observation, respect, and spiritual understanding. So when the American founders were looking for a national symbol, they might not have fully grasped the depth of this pre-existing reverence. They saw strength, independence, and majesty qualities they wanted for their new nation. But what they were tapping into was a spiritual current that had been flowing across the continent for millennia. The eagle already carried a profound weight of meaning, representing a connection to the land, a conduit to the divine, and the very essence of a warrior's heart. This shared reverence, though expressed differently, created an invisible link. While the new nation would adopt the eagle for its own political and patriotic reasons, the bird spirit was already deeply embedded in the soul of the land itself, thanks to its first peoples. The eagle was, and remains, a powerful symbol of two different, yet overlapping, worlds. It is a reminder that the history of this land began in 1776. The story of the eagle is a story of America in its truest, oldest sense, a tale of wildness, spirit, and an enduring connection to the sky. Understanding this Native American perspective adds an entirely new layer to the eagle's story. It transforms it from a simple national emblem into a symbol with a rich, complex, and deeply spiritual heritage. It's a heritage that speaks of respect for nature, the search for courage, and the timeless human desire to connect with something greater than ourselves. Thanks so much for joining me on this part of the journey. The story of the eagle is far from over, and I hope you'll stick around for the next chapter. If you found this perspective insightful, please give this video a thumbs up. And do you and forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. See you in the next video. Have you ever looked at the Great Seal of the United States and thought, yeah, that bald eagle looks majestic, powerful, ... perfect? Well, one of America's most brilliant founding fathers would have strongly disagreed with you. I'm talking about the one and only Benjamin Franklin. And folks, he had some serious beef with the bald eagle. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're ruffling some feathers and diving into one of the most amusing and surprising debates in American history. Benjamin Franklin's spirited campaign against the bald eagle and his championing of The turkey. Yes, you heard that right. The bird that graces our Thanksgiving tables could have been the symbol of American might. So, how did this foul debate even start? Let's get into it. The year is 1782. The Revolutionary War is over, and the newly formed United States of America needs a symbol, an emblem to represent its identity on the world stage. Congress tasked the committee with designing the Great Seal. After much deliberation, they settled on the bald eagle, clutching an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of 13 arrows in the other, a powerful image of peace and strength. Most people were happy with it. It looked noble, fierce, and free. But not Ben Franklin. From his post in Paris, he got word of the new national symbol and was, to put it mildly, not impressed. In a letter to his daughter, Sarah, he let his true feelings fly. He didn't just dislike the choice. He found the bald eagle to be a bird of bad moral character. What was Franklin's problem with this majestic raptor? Well, he saw the eagle as a lazy thief and a bully. He wrote, "He does not get his living honestly. You may have seen him perched on some dead tree near the river, where, too lazy to fish for himself, he watches the labor of the fishing hawk." He painted a picture of the eagle waiting for a smaller, harder-working bird to catch a fish, only to swoop down and steal its prize. Franklin saw this as cowardice. He pointed out that even small king birds, no bigger than sparrows, could bravely attack the eagle and drive it from their nests. For Franklin, this wasn't the image of a great nation. He called the eagle a rank coward, a symbol of theft and oppression. Not on his watch. So, if not the eagle, then what? This is where our story takes a delicious turn. Franklin had a different candidate in mind, a bird he considered to be a much more respectable bird. His choice, the wild turkey. Now, I know what you're thinking. A turkey? The gobbling, wattle-waving bird we associate with holiday feasts. But hold on, Franklin had his reasons, and they were surprisingly compelling. He argued that a turkey, in sharp contrast to the eagle, was a true native of America. While bald eagles could be found in other parts of the world, the wild turkey was uniquely North American. It was a true original, just like the new nation itself. Furthermore, Franklin saw the turkey as a bird of courage. He wrote that the turkey would not hesitate to attack a grenadier of the British Guards, who should presume to invade his farmyard with a red coat on. Think about that image. A humble turkey, puffed up and ready to charge at the symbol of British imperial power. To Franklin, this was the perfect metaphor for the American colonies standing up to the mighty British Empire. The turkey was the underdog, the David to the eagle's Goliath, a symbol of righteous defiance and homegrown bravery. He saw the turkey as an honest, hard-working bird. It foraged for its own food. It protected its family, and it didn't steal from others. It represented the agrarian, self-sufficient values that Franklin and many other founders believed were the bedrock of the new republic. The turkey was humble, diligent, and wouldn't back down from a fight if provoked. It was everything Franklin believed America should be. So, we have this fascinating clash of ideals, symbolized by two very different birds. On one side, the bald eagle, majestic, powerful, a top predator. It represents might, authority, and dominance. It's the classic symbol of an empire, a ruler of the skies. Its image is one of soaring ambition and unparalleled strength. It tests the bird you choose when you want the world to know you've arrived and you're in charge. On the other side, the humble turkey, a creature of the earth, grounded, community-oriented, and deceptively brave. It doesn't soar in the heavens. It walks the land. It represents the common person, the farmer. The citizen. It symbolizes courage born from conviction, not from brute force. It's a symbol of defiant self-reliance and community spirit. This wasn't just about ornithology. It was a debate about the very soul of America. What kind of nation did the founders want to build? Was it to be a new empire? A dominant force on the global stage, like the powerful eagle? Or was it to be a different kind of nation? A republic of virtuous, hard-working citizens, represented by the noble, if slightly less glamorous, Turkey. Franklin's preference for the turkey reveals his deep-seated belief in Republican virtues: honesty, industry, and courage in the face of tyranny. He was wary of concentrated power and inherited aristocracy, which the eagle, in his eyes, seemed to represent. The turkey was democratic, a bird of the people. Of course, we all know how the story ends. The eagle won. Its image of power and freedom was simply too compelling for Congress to ignore. Charles Thompson, the Secretary of Congress, finalized the design, and the bald eagle was officially adopted, soaring into its permanent place in American iconography. Franklin's proposal was more of a personal gripe in a letter than a formal political campaign. He never officially lobbied Congress to change the symbol, but his feathers of disagreement have become a legendary piece of American folklore. It reminds us that even the most iconic symbols were once subjects of debate, and that the founders themselves had different visions for what America should represent. The eagle became the symbol of American ambition and global reach. It's on our currency, our passports, and our government buildings. It's a symbol recognized worldwide as the mark of the United States. And you have to admit, it's a pretty impressive-looking bird. But what if Franklin had won? Imagine a great seal with a proud turkey at its center. Would we see America differently? Would we see ourselves differently? Perhaps we'd be reminded more often of the virtues of humility, honesty, and standing up for your home turf, no matter the odds. It's a fun thought experiment. The debate between the eagle and the turkey is more than just an amusing historical footnote. It's a window into the competing ideas that shaped the United States. It's the tension between power and virtue, between being a global superpower and being a republic of citizens. And in a way, that debate is still alive and well in America today. So, the next time you see a bald eagle, by all means, admire its majesty. But maybe also spare a thought for Benjamin Franklin and his respectable turkey thief symbol of a different, humbler, but no less courageous, American dream. Which bird do you think is a better fit? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with me today to explore this incredible piece of history. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the fascinating corners of the past. We'll see you in the next one. Today, we're diving into a fascinating slice of American history, looking at an iconic bird that often gets overlooked in favor of its majestic, albeit less American, cousin. We're talking about Chapter 8 of our journey, focusing on the turkey's case, an American original. Get ready to have your minds blown about this Thanksgiving staple. You know, when you think about symbols of America, the bald eagle probably swoops right into your head. It's grand, it's powerful, it's everywhere. But here's a little secret. The bald eagle isn't unique to North America. Nope. It's found in other parts of the world too. Our true American original, the bird that truly represents the spirit and bounty of this continent, is none other than the humble, yet incredibly significant, turkey. Think about it. This bird, the turkey, was a gift from North America to the world. It's an animal that couldn't be found anywhere else on the planet until Europeans arrived. Long before any colonists set foot on these shores, native peoples across the continent had already recognized the turkey's immense value. They didn't just hunt them, they domesticated them. This was a bird that played a crucial role in their societies, deeply intertwined with their daily lives and cultural practices. For native communities, the turkey was a symbol of incredible abundance. Imagine having a reliable food source that also provided feathers for ceremonies, bones for tools, and warmth for clothing. It was a complete package, a cornerstone of their survival and prosperity. It wasn't just about sustenance, it was about thriving. This bird wasn't just meat on the table. It was nourishment for the body and the spirit, deeply woven into their understanding of gratitude for the natural world. And this wasn't just a practical relationship. It was a spiritual one too. Many native cultures revered the turkey, its unique characteristics, its size, its distinctive gobble, and its presence across diverse landscapes made it a significant figure in their storytelling, art, and ceremonies. It represented fertility, generosity, and community, embodying the rich interconnectedness of life on the continent. Fast forward to the Founding Fathers, and one particular visionary had a very special place in his heart for the turkey. Benjamin Franklin. You might have heard the story. but it bears repeating because it truly highlights the turkey's American credentials. Franklin famously argued that the turkey, not the bald eagle, should be the national bird of the United States. He saw something in the turkey that he felt truly embodied the American character. What was it about the turkey that captivated Franklin's intellect? He viewed the turkey as a bird of remarkable industriousness. Think about it. Turkeys are diligent foragers, always active, always working for their sustenance. They're not waiting for things to come to them. They're out there making things happen. This resonated deeply with Franklin's own values of hard work, self-reliance, and perseverance, cornerstones of the emerging American identity. But it wasn't just about industriousness. Franklin also admired the turkey's moral integrity. He saw the eagle, in contrast, as a bit of a scavenger, a bird of bad moral character that steals from other birds. The turkey, on the other hand, was honest in its pursuit of food, strong in its own right, and entirely. For Franklin, the turkey represented the common person, the everyday American who built this nation through their sweat and toil, not through pomp and showmanship. It was a symbol of groundedness, honesty, and a strong work ethic. So, when we sit down for a Thanksgiving dinner, or really, any time we see a turkey, it's worth remembering that this isn't just a bird. It's a living piece of American history, a symbol of everything that makes this continent unique. It's a testament to the ingenuity of native peoples who first domesticated it, and a reminder of the values that Benjamin Franklin believed truly defined the American spirit: abundance, nourishment, gratitude, industriousness, and moral integrity. The turkey's story is a beautiful reminder that sometimes the most profound symbols are found not in the grand and the lofty, but in the everyday, the practical, and the truly original. It's about recognizing the incredible value in what is uniquely ours, what has sustained us, and what continues to represent the core of our character. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the fascinating case of the American turkey. If you learned something new or found this perspective intriguing, please hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more explorations into history, culture, and all things fascinating. Your support means the world, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something truly majestic, something that embodies power and spirit like no other creature. Get ready for Chapter 9, where we explore the eagle's case, majesty and might. When you picture a bald eagle, what comes to mind? For me, it's that incredible image of it, soaring high above, winding rivers and rugged mountains. A silent commander of the skies. There's just something about its presence that instantly commands respect, isn't there? It's not just a bird. It's a living symbol, an icon. Its eyes. Oh my goodness. Those piercing eyes. They seem to hold centuries of wisdom, scanning the vast landscapes with an almost supernatural clarity. And its strength in flight. Absolutely breathtaking to witness an eagle effortlessly gliding on air currents, then suddenly diving with incredible precision and power. It is a masterclass in aerial acrobatics and brute force combined. This isn't just movement, it's a statement. It's no wonder this magnificent bird has become such a natural, undeniable emblem of freedom for so many. Think about it, soaring unbound, high above the everyday struggles, with an endless horizon stretching before it. That sense of limitless potential, of conquering the heights, really resonates with the idea of freedom, doesn't it? It represents breaking free, reaching for your highest aspirations. But it's more than just freedom. To countless cultures and individuals throughout history, the eagle embodies a whole spectrum of powerful virtues. It's a beacon of courage, fearlessly facing challenges and venturing into the unknown. It represents vision, not just physical sight, but the ability to see the bigger picture, to plan, to strategize from a higher perspective. And let's not forget victory. The eagle often represents triumph, overcoming obstacles, and achieving greatness. It's a winner, through and through. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, and maybe a little bit humorous. You know, there's this poetic and, let's be honest, quite political contrast often drawn between the majestic eagle and the dot dot. Well, the more earthbound turkey. One soars to incredible heights, a symbol of aspiration. The other, while certainly a fine bird in its own right, tends to stick closer to the ground, perhaps with a different set of priorities. This comparison, often made in the context of national symbols, really highlights just how powerfully the eagle's image impacts us. It speaks volumes about what we value, what we aspire to be. It's not just about two different birds, it's about two different philosophies. So, as we explore the eagle's case today, we're not just talking about ornithology. We're delving into history, symbolism, and the very spirit of what it means to be bold, to be free, and to strive for greatness. We're going to uncover why this particular creature has captured human imagination for so long and continues to inspire us in profound ways. We'll look at its ecological role, its incredible hunting prowess, and its journey back from the brink of extinction, a testament to its resilience and our collective efforts. Stay with me as we unpack the layers of meaning behind this incredible bird. We'll explore some fascinating historical anecdotes, delve into its biological marvels, and discuss how its legacy continues to shape our perception of strength and independence. From ancient civilizations who revered it as a god to modern nations that proudly display it on their emblems, the eagle's story is rich, powerful, and utterly captivating. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying this deep dive, and subscribe to join our community as we explore more incredible topics like this. Let me know in the comments what the bald eagle means to Asterisk. You, Asterisk. Your thoughts are always super valuable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever taken a really close look at a $1 bill? Not just to see if you have enough for a coffee, but to actually examine the design. On the back, there's this incredibly detailed symbol, one you've probably seen thousands of times. The Great Seal of the United States. It's on passports, official documents, and at every presidential press conference. But have you ever wondered where it came from and what it all means? Well, today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of this iconic emblem. It's a tale of revolution, debate, and symbolism that's more intricate than you might imagine. The journey to create the Great Seal began on the very day the United States declared its independence, July 4th, 1776. Talk about a busy day. While the ink was still drying on the Declaration of Independence, the Continental Congress tasked three of its most famous members, Benjamin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams, with designing a seal for the new nation. You'd think with a powerhouse committee like that, they'd knock it out of the park, right? Well, not exactly. Their initial proposal was, let's say, a bit complex. It featured a shield with symbols representing the 6 founding European cultures of the American colonies, flanked by the goddess of liberty and the goddess of justice. On the reverse side, they proposed a scene of the pharaoh drowning in the Red Sea as the Israelites escape. With the motto, "Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God." It was a powerful image, packed with meaning, but Congress thought it was a little too complicated and busy. So, they shelved the idea, and the search for the perfect seal continued. After that first attempt, the task was passed to a second committee in 1780. This time, the design featured a shield with 13 stripes, a constellation of 13 stars, and was supported by a figure of a warrior on one side and an embodiment of peace on the other, holding an olive branch. Again, Congress wasn't fully convinced. The design was seen as a step in the right direction, but still wasn't quite hitting the mark. A third committee was formed in 1782, but they also struggled to land on a final design. The process was dragging on. It had been 6 years, and the United States still didn't have an official seal. Frustrated by the delays, Congress handed all the previous designs and suggestions to its secretary, Charles Thomson. Thomson wasn't a professional artist, but he was a practical man with a clear vision. He reviewed everything, taking the best elements from the previous attempts. He liked the 13 stripes and the 13 stars. He appreciated the idea of the olive branch, but he wanted something uniquely American to be the centerpiece. The previous designs had relied heavily on classical European figures and imagery. Thomson wanted a symbol that represented the new nation's spirit of freedom and sovereignty, and that's when he made a brilliant choice. The bald eagle. This wasn't just any bird. It was a species native to North America. To Thompson, the eagle represented strength, majesty, and independence. He placed the shield with the 13 red and white stripes directly on the eagle's chest, signifying that the United States stands on its own, relying on its own virtue. This was a crucial departure from European heraldry, where shields are typically held or supported by other figures. In its right talon, Thompson placed an olive branch, the classic symbol of peace, with 13 leaves and 13 olives. In its left talon, he placed a bundle of 13 arrows, representing the power and readiness for war. This duality is central to the seal's meaning. The nation desires peace but is always prepared to defend itself. Crucially, the eagle's head is turned towards the olive branch, indicating a preference for peace over conflict. This was a deliberate and powerful statement. Above the eagle's head, Thompson arranged 13 stars into a constellation, representing the new nation taking its place among the other sovereign powers of the world. In the eagle's beak, he placed a scroll with the Latin motto, E pluribus unem, which means out of many, one. This phrase perfectly captured the essence of the new Republic 13, separate colonies coming together to form a single, unified nation. Thompson's design was a masterclass in synthesis and symbolism. He took the scattered ideas of 6 years and forged them into a single, cohesive, and powerful image. On June 20th, 1782, Thompson presented his design to Congress. This time, Telo Bade Italiano. It was approved that very same day, after 6 long years of debate, 3 committees, and countless redesigns. The United States finally had its Great Seal. The final design was a testament to the nation's values: independence, strength, a desire for peace, and the unity forged from diversity. Every single element, from the number of feathers on the eagle's tail to the direction it faces, was carefully chosen to tell the story of America. Now, what about the reverse side of the seal? That's the unfinished pyramid you see on the back of the dollar bill. This side was largely the work of the first committee, refined by Thompson. The 13-step pyramid symbolizes strength and duration, but it's deliberately left unfinished, signifying that the nation is a work in progress, with room to grow and improve. Above it, the Eye of Providence is enclosed in a triangle, representing divine guidance, watching over the American endeavor. 2 more Latin mottos appear here. An white queptis, meaning, he has favored our undertakings, a novus ordus seclorum, which translates to a new order of the ages. This side of the seal speaks to the founders' belief that they were not just starting a new country, but a new era for humanity. Interestingly, while both sides of the Great Seal are officially part of the design, only the front, with the eagle, has ever been cut into a physical seal for stamping documents. The reverse side exists only as a drawing and, of course, as the iconic image on our currency. It remains a symbolic representation of the nation's spiritual and philosophical foundations. So, the next time you hold a dollar bill or see the Great Seal of the United States, take a moment to appreciate the incredible depth of history and meaning packed into that single image. It's not just a logo. It's the autobiography of a nation, written in the language of symbols. A story of struggle, unity, and the perpetual balance between peace and strength. It's a reminder that great things often take time, and that from many different ideas, one powerful vision can emerge. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more hidden stories behind everyday things, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into chapter 11 of our journey. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. We're unmasking the incredible secrets hidden in plain sight, specifically within one of the most powerful and enduring symbols of American identity, the Great Seal of the United States. You've probably seen it countless times, on documents, currency, even official buildings. But have you ever really looked asterisk at it? Have you ever wondered about the stories, the intentions, and the profound wisdom woven into every detail? Well, prepare to have your mind blown. This isn't just a pretty picture. It's a meticulously crafted emblem, a visual declaration of principles that have guided a nation for centuries. And what's truly amazing is how much thought went into every single element, each one speaking volumes about the dreams and aspirations of the founding generation. So, let's grab our magnifying glasses and zoom in. Peace, by carefully chosen peace, because the meaning hidden in this seal is a testament to unity, strength, and an unwavering hope for the future. Let's start with the numbers, because they are absolutely everywhere, and they tell a powerful story. If you look closely at the seal, particularly on the eagle's right talon, you'll see it clutching a bundle of arrows. Now, how many do you count? 13. And what about the olive branch in its left talon? Count the leaves, and you'll find, you guessed it, 13. Even the stars above the eagle's head are arranged in a constellation of 13. Is this a coincidence? Absolutely not. These aren't just random numbers. They are a direct, powerful, and constant reminder of the original 13 colonies that bravely came together to form this new nation. Imagine the courage it took for these disparate colonies, each with its own identity and interests, to unite under a common cause. Those 13 arrows represent their collective strength, their willingness to defend their newfound freedom. But it's not just about defense. It's about the power of many becoming one. Each arrow, fragile on its own, becomes an unbreakable force when bound together. It's a beautiful metaphor for unity in action, a message that resonated then and resonates just as strongly today. It tells us that our individual strengths are magnified when we stand shoulder to shoulder. Now, let's talk about the olive branch. This ancient symbol of peace, held prominently in the eagle's other talon, is equally significant. Think about the careful placement. The eagle, a symbol of power and majesty, is asterisk. Facing asterisk, this isn't accidental. This isn't just an aesthetic choice. It's a profound statement of national intent. It symbolizes that while the nation is ready and capable of defending itself, those 13 arrows are clear on that. Its ultimate preference, its highest aspiration, is peace. The founders weren't warmongers. They were visionaries who understood the devastating costs of conflict. They wanted to build a society where prosperity and harmony could flourish, and that could only happen in times of peace. This orientation, the eagle looking towards peace, is a constant reminder that power should always be wielded with discretion, with a primary goal of fostering tranquility and diplomatic solutions whenever possible. It is a powerful lesson in leadership and national character. Strength is not just about military might, but about the wisdom to choose a path of peace. It speaks to the idea that true power lies in diplomacy, in negotiation, and in building bridges, not just in wielding weapons. It's a deeply hopeful message, reflecting a desire for a world where understanding prevails over conflict. And then, if you look at the eagle's beak, you'll see a banner, proudly unfurled, carrying a phrase that is echoed through American history. E pluribus unam. These 3 Latin words translate to out of many, one. It's concise, it's elegant, and it encapsulates the very essence of what the United States was and still strives to be. Think about it. Out of many, one. Out of 13 diverse colonies, one nation was forged. Out of countless different cultures, backgrounds, and beliefs, one people, united by common ideals, emerged. This motto isn't just about the past. It's a living principle. It reminds us that our strength comes from our diversity. It's about taking all those individual voices, all those unique perspectives, all those different experiences, and weaving them into a vibrant, cohesive tapestry. It's the ultimate call for unity, reminding us that despite our differences, we share a fundamental bond, a shared identity as citizens of this nation. It encourages us to look beyond what separates us and to embrace what brings us together, to find common ground, and to work towards a shared future. The journey from many to one is never easy. It's a continuous process of dialogue, compromise, and mutual respect. But E pluribus unum serves as our guiding star, a constant nudge to remember that our collective strength, our collective future, depends on our ability to honor our individual identities while forging a powerful, unified whole. It's a message that celebrates both our individuality and our interconnectedness, reminding us that we are stronger together. So, when you next see the Great Seal, take a moment. Don't just glance at it. See the 13 arrows, symbols of collective defense. See the 13 leaves, reminding us of our foundational states. See the 13 stars, representing the original constellation of colonies. Observe the eagle, majestic and powerful, yet looking towards the olive branch, making its preference for peace abundantly clear. And finally, read those powerful words. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. This seal isn't just a relic of the past, it's a living document, a visual philosophy that continues to inspire. It speaks to the ongoing American experiment, reminding us of the profound ideals upon which this nation was built. Unity, peace, and the strength that comes from embracing our shared purpose, even amidst our wonderful diversity. It's a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of a shared vision. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the hidden meanings of the Great Seal. I hope you found this as fascinating as I did. If you learned something new today, or if you just enjoyed unpacking these powerful symbols with me, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more explorations into history, culture, and all the amazing stories that shape our world. And hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. I love hearing your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below what other historical symbols you'd like us to explore. Your engagement means the world to me. See you next time. Did you know that one of America's most famous founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, absolutely despised the choice of the bald eagle as the national symbol? It's true, and his reasons are both hilarious and surprisingly sharp. Let's travel back to January 1784. The Treaty of Paris has just been signed, officially ending the Revolutionary War. America is a brand new nation, buzzing with the energy of creating its identity. Part of this involves designing the Great Seal of the United States, which of course features a prominent bird. The choice, the majestic bald eagle. But not everyone was a fan. Franklin, writing from his diplomatic post in Passy, France, receives a letter from his daughter, Sarah Batch, back in Philadelphia. She's describing a new medal and the emblem of a new society, the Society of the Cincinnati, an organization for officers of the Continental Army. The design on this medal, intended to be a bald eagle, looked a bit off. To Franklin, it looked more like a turkey. This observation sparks one of the most famous and misunderstood letters in American history. Franklin sits down and pens a long, witty, and slightly rambling reply to his daughter. It's a classic Franklin move, mixing family news, scientific musings, and sharp political commentary all in one. He starts by playfully teasing Sarah about her interest in these new ribbons and medals. But then he dives headfirst into the bird debate. And this is where it gets good. He writes, and I'm quoting from his letter here, "For my own part, I wish the bald eagle had not been chosen as the representative of our country. He is a bird of bad moral character. He does not get his living honestly. You may have seen him perched on some dead tree near the river where, too lazy to fish for himself, he watches the labor of the fishing hawk. And when that diligent bird has at length taken a fish and is bearing it to his nest for the support of his mate and young, once the bald eagle pursues him and takes it from him." Can you believe that? Franklin is essentially calling the national bird a lazy thief. He paints this picture of a mob boss eagle shaking down the hard-working fishing hawk for its catch. He continues, with all this injustice, he is never in good case, but like those among men who live by sharping and robbing, he is generally poor and often very lousy. So, not only is the eagle a bully, but it's also broke and probably has lice. What a takedown. He doesn't stop there. He criticizes the eagle for being a coward, noting that even a small kingbird, no bigger than a sparrow, can attack the mighty eagle and drive it from its territory. So, in Franklin's view, the eagle is lazy, a thief, and a coward. Not exactly the shining symbol of a brave new republic, is it? So, if not the eagle, then what? This is where the legend of the turkey comes in. Franklin offers a surprising alternative. He writes, "For in truth the turkey is in comparison a much more respectable bird, and withal a true original native of America." Now, hold on. The turkey, the bird we associate with Thanksgiving dinner. It seems ridiculous at first. But listen to Franklin's reasoning. He praises the turkey, calling it a bird of courage. He explains that a turkey would not hesitate to attack a grenadier of the British Guards who should presume to invade his farmyard with a red coat on. Think about that imagery. A courageous, native-born American turkey defending its home turf against a British soldier. It's a powerful metaphor for the American Revolution itself, a scrappy, determined native force standing up to the powerful, red-coated British Empire. In Franklin's eyes, the turkey was a much better symbol of American virtue, grit, and independence. The eagle, on the other hand, with its thieving ways and questionable character, reminded him too much of the very European aristocracies they had just fought to escape. Now, it's crucial to understand the context here. Franklin was writing a private letter to his daughter. He wasn't making a formal proposal to Congress to change the national bird. This was a playful, satirical observation, a classic example of his wit. He was known for this kind of clever commentary. He also using the bird debate as a clever way to comment on the new society of the Cincinnati, which he worried was creating a new, hereditary aristocracy in America, something he was strongly against. The eagle, to him, represented that old-world system of power and privilege. The turkey was the common man, the farmer. The citizen soldier, but history has a funny way of taking things and running with them. Over the centuries, Franklin's private joke morphed into a popular myth, the story that Benjamin Franklin formally campaigned for the turkey to be the national bird and lost the vote to the eagle. That part simply isn't true. The Continental Congress had already chosen the bald eagle for the Great Seal in 1782, 2 full years before Franklin even wrote this letter. So, why does this myth persist? I think it's because it's just such a great story. It's humorous, it's quirky, and it reveals a side of the Founding Fathers that we don't often see. It makes them more human, more relatable. It reminds us that these larger-than-life historical figures also had opinions, made jokes, and sometimes just liked to complain in a letter to their daughter. The eagle, for its part, has done pretty well for itself. It has become a powerful and enduring symbol of American strength, freedom, and majesty. From its perch on our currency, government buildings, and military insignia, the bald eagle is instantly recognizable around the world as the emblem of the United States. It's a symbol that has inspired generations, despite its bad moral character, according to Franklin. The eagle is majestic flight, and fierce independence captured the spirit of the nation in a way that turkey, for all its Franklin-praised virtues, probably never could. Can you imagine a turkey on the presidential seal? It's a funny thought, but it just doesn't have the same gravitas. So, while Franklin may have lost the popular culture argument in his letter, he won in another way. His witty words have echoed through the centuries, giving us a fantastic historical what-if and a wonderful piece of American folklore. It has a story that brings a smile to our faces and gives us a deeper appreciation for the complex, brilliant, and often very funny mind of Benjamin Franklin. Next time you see a bald eagle, maybe you'll think of Franklin. You can admire its majesty, but you can also have a little chuckle, remembering that at least one founding father thought a turkey would have been a much better choice. What do you think? Was Franklin right? Should we have been the land of the turkey? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into a quirky corner of history, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories you might not have learned in school. See you next time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating slice of American history, looking at how a majestic bird soared to become the enduring symbol of a nation. We're talking, of course, about the magnificent bald eagle and its journey to capture the American spirit. You know, symbols are powerful. They condense complex ideas, values, and aspirations into a single, recognizable image. For a young nation like the United States, still defining itself on the world stage, choosing the right national emblem was incredibly important. It had to represent what America stood for, what it hoped to become, and how it wanted to be perceived. And when the bald eagle was chosen, it didn't take long for it to absolutely capture the public's imagination. Think about it. In the immediate aftermath of the American Revolution, there was this burgeoning sense of national identity. People were proud of their hard-won independence, and they needed something to rally around, something tangible that embodied their new republic. The eagle, with its powerful wings, keen eyesight, and commanding presence, quickly fit the bill. It wasn't just a quiet decision made in a dusty committee room either. This bird quickly moved beyond official documents and into the public consciousness. You started seeing it everywhere, signaling its rise as the undisputed face of the nation. Imagine walking down the streets of Philadelphia or Boston in the late 1700s, early 1800s. The bald eagle was becoming omnipresent. One of the most immediate and visible places it appeared was on American coinage. Think about it. Every time you conducted a transaction, every coin that passed through your hands carried the image of this powerful bird. It wasn't just money. It was a mini declaration of national pride, a constant, subtle reinforcement of American identity. This wasn't some exotic, foreign creature. It was a native, powerful symbol that resonated with the rugged individualism and strength the new nation wanted to project. Beyond currency, the eagle found its way onto the very architecture of American power. Government buildings, new and imposing structures designed to reflect the stability and authority of the republic, were adorned with eagle motifs. Imagine grand federal buildings in Washington, D.C., their facades embellished with sculptures or carvings of the bald eagle, perched majestically, overseeing the affairs of state. These weren't just decorations, they were statements. T declared without uttering a single word that this nation was strong, vigilant, and independent. The image served as a silent guardian, a symbol of freedom and resolve. And then there were the military flags. This is where the eagle truly took on its most potent symbolic role. For soldiers marching into battle, for ships sailing under the American ensign, the eagle wasn't just an emblem. It was a source of inspiration. It represented courage, fierceness, and the willingness to defend the ideals of liberty at all costs. Imagine the sight of a regimental flag, emblazoned with a proud eagle, fluttering in the wind, leading troops forward. It instilled a sense of national unity and purpose. It reminded every man and woman serving that they were fighting for something bigger than themselves, for the very spirit of America. By the early 1800s, there was no doubt the bald eagle had truly taken flight as the face of the nation. It wasn't just a logo. It was ingrained in the American psyche. Its image evoked strength, freedom, independence, and a fierce determination. It represented the pioneering spirit, the ability to overcome adversity, and the vast, untamed wilderness that was still so much a part of the American landscape. It was a perfect fit for a country that saw itself as strong, noble, and destined for greatness. Now, you might be thinking, what about the turkey? And that's a fair question. There's a famous anecdote, often attributed to Benjamin Franklin, suggesting he preferred the turkey as the national bird. While the exact wording and context are debated, the sentiment is clear. Franklin, ever the pragmatist, saw virtues in the turkey. He famously called the bald eagle a bird of bad moral character, citing its tendency to steal food from other birds, while praising the turkey as a much more respectable bird, though a little vain and silly, a bird of courage. But despite Franklin's witty observations, and perhaps a quiet camp of turkey enthusiasts, the turkey never really stood a chance against the eagle in the race for a national symbol. While the eagle ascended to represent national might and aspiration, the turkey, for its part, remained a cherished symbol of something equally important, but perhaps more intimate: home and harvest. It became synonymous with family gatherings, the bounty of the land, and Thanksgiving feasts. It represented comfort, tradition, and the warmth of domestic life. Both birds found their place, but in very different spheres of American symbolism. So, while the turkey carved out its niche in our hearts and on our holiday tables, the bald eagle soared to the pinnacle of national identity. It became this powerful, enduring image that resonated with Americans then, and still does today. It's a testament to the foresight of those who chose it, and to the inherent power of its image. What do you think about the bald eagle as a national symbol? Let me know in the comments below. Did you know about its rapid rise to fame? And what are your thoughts on Benjamin Franklin's turkey argument? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into American history, please give this video a big thumbs up. share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories. Your support means the world to us, and we love bringing you these explorations. We'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-soaring high into a topic that has literally etched into the fabric of nations: the majestic eagle in art and architecture. Get ready to discover how this incredible bird isn't just a creature of the skies, but a powerful symbol woven deeply into our history and ideals. For centuries, the eagle has captivated humanity. Its piercing gaze, powerful wings, and solitary majesty have made it a natural emblem for strength, freedom, and vision. But what happens when we take this wild, untamed spirit and incorporate it into our most significant structures and designs? That's where the real magic begins. We're going to embark on a fascinating journey, guided by the soft, enduring presence of the eagle itself, exploring its silent watch over republics, empires, and dreams. Think about it. From the moment you glance at a coin in your pocket to gazing up at a grand monument, the eagle is often there, standing guard. It's a silent observer, a stoic guardian, and a timeless messenger of principles. This isn't just about pretty pictures. It's about how a single image can embody a nation's spirit and aspirations. It's about how art and architecture transform a powerful animal into an enduring icon. So, let's start our adventure right here in the United States, where the bald eagle reigns supreme as the national bird. You see it everywhere, right? But have you ever stopped to truly consider its significance beyond just being a cool-looking bird? It's much more than that. It's a living symbol, a constant reminder of the values upon which the nation was founded. Take the Great Seal of the United States. For instance, it's one of the most iconic images of American power and identity. And what's at its heart? A bald eagle, of course. But look closely. This isn't just any eagle. It's holding an olive branch, symbolizing peace, in one talon, and 13 arrows, representing war-making powers, in the other. Its head is turned towards the olive branch, signifying a preference for peace, but it's ready for defense. This isn't just an animal. It's a meticulously crafted symbol, each element speaking volumes without uttering a single word. It's a masterclass in visual storytelling, telling us about the balance of power, the desire for harmony, and the readiness to protect liberty. And let's not forget the banner in its beak, proclaiming E pluribus unum, out of many, one. The eagle unites these diverse elements, embodying the very idea of a unified nation born from distinct states. It is a testament to the idea that a collection of individual parts can come together to form something stronger, more resilient, and truly exceptional. This seal isn't just a design, it's a statement of national purpose, a promise of unity, and a declaration of sovereignty, all encapsulated within the majestic form of this bird. Now, let's lift our gaze higher, literally, to the magnificent Capitol Dome in Washington, D.C. If you've ever seen it, you know it's an awe-inspiring structure, a true architectural marvel. But have you ever noticed the eagles carved into its intricate designs, adorning its corners, or perched atop its decorative elements? They are not accidental additions. They are deliberate choices, guardians of democracy. These eagles aren't just decorative flair. They are vigilant sentinels, watching over the legislative process, over the debates and decisions that shape the future of the republic. They symbolize the eternal vigilance required to maintain freedom and governance. Their presence there, high above the bustling activity, connects the physical structure of power with the ideals it represents. It reminds us that while laws are made by people, they are ideally guided by principles as enduring and majestic as the eagle itself. It's a subtle yet powerful reinforcement of the nation's core values, standing testament to its strength and unwavering resolve. But the eagle's story in art and architecture isn't confined to the United States. Far from it, its symbolism is ancient and global. Cast your mind back to the Roman Empire, for instance. The aquila, the Roman eagle standard, was much more than just a military emblem. It was the soul of the legion, a sacred object that embodied the very honor and spirit of Rome itself. To lose an aquila in battle was a catastrophe, a profound dishonor. Imagine the power this simple image held over thousands of disciplined soldiers, driving them forward, inspiring courage, and cementing loyalty. These bronze or silver eagles, often perched atop poles, were carried into every battle, every conquest, representing the might and divine favor of the empire. They were a physical manifestation of Rome's dominion and its unyielding ambition. The Roman eagle symbolized imperium, supreme power and authority. It was a tangible link between the legions and the eternal city, a constant reminder of their duty and the vastness of their empire. It really puts into perspective how powerful a symbol can be, doesn't it? And if we travel even further back, to ancient Mesopotamia, we find eagles depicted in intricate carvings and reliefs, often associated with gods and kings, symbolizing divine authority and protection. In ancient Greece, Zeus, the king of the gods, often took the form of an eagle or had an eagle as his loyal companion, further elevating the bird to a divine status, a messenger from the heavens. Its ability to fly higher than any other bird made it a natural choice for connecting the mortal world with the divine. Even in medieval European heraldry, the eagle is a common motif, often appearing on coats of arms for noble families and empires, signifying majesty, courage, and power. The double-headed eagle, for example, became a powerful symbol for empires like the Byzantine and later the Holy Roman Empire, representing dominion over both East and West, or church and state. These are not just pretty designs. They are historical narratives, compressed into a single, potent image. Think about the sheer versatility of this symbol. It transcends cultures, eras, and political systems, yet always retains its core essence of power, vision, and often protection. From the ancient world to modern currency, from monumental sculptures to intricate architectural details, the eagle consistently delivers a message of enduring strength and noble ideals. It becomes a creature not of the wild, but of aspiration, a beacon of what societies strive to be. When you look at a beautifully carved eagle adorning the facade of a classical building, it's not just a piece of stone, it's a statement. It speaks of the aspirations of the architects, the patrons, and the society that built it. It says, "We aim high. We are strong. We are watchful." This transformation from a wild animal to an embodiment of abstract ideals is truly remarkable. So, the next time you encounter an eagle in art or architecture, whether it's on a government building, a national park sign, or even a postage stamp, take a moment to truly appreciate it. It's more than just a bird. It's a silent guardian, a symbol of freedom, strength, and the enduring spirit of human ideals. It's a testament to how art can elevate a natural wonder into a timeless emblem. It's truly incredible how an image can carry such profound weight and meaning across millennia. The eagle in art and architecture is a powerful reminder of our shared human aspiration for greatness, freedom, and vigilance. It bridges the gap between the untamed wilderness and the organized world of human society, bringing with it a powerful message of enduring strength. Thank you so much for joining me on this soaring journey through the world of eagles in art and architecture. I hope you've gained a new appreciation for this magnificent bird and its symbolic power. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating insights into history, art, and the hidden meanings around us. Your support means the world, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Stay curious. Today, we're diving into a symbol that's as iconic as it is powerful, the majestic eagle. But we're not just admiring its beauty, we're exploring something truly fascinating. How this incredible bird's meaning has transformed over centuries, especially in the context of nations and their ideals. You see, for many cultures, the eagle has always been a beacon of strength and vision, soaring high above the mundane. It's a creature that inspires awe, often seen as a messenger from the gods, or a king among birds. Yet, its symbolism isn't static. It's a dynamic tapestry woven through history, adapting to the triumphs and trials of civilizations. We're going to trace its journey from a universal emblem of peace and lofty ideals, to a fierce representation of war and national pride. It's a story of duality, reflecting the complex nature of humanity itself. Let's start at the very beginning, with the eagle as a symbol of peace and idealism. Imagine ancient civilizations looking up at this magnificent bird, circling gracefully in the sky. It embodies freedom, a spirit unchained. For many early societies, the eagle represented a connection to the divine, a creature embodying purity, wisdom, and the aspirations of mankind for a higher purpose. It was often associated with sun gods, with justice, and with the ability to see things clearly from a grand perspective. It was a symbol of harmony, of living in balance with the natural world, and of striving for intellectual and spiritual enlightenment. Think of it as a creature that elevates our gaze, encouraging us to look beyond immediate concerns and embrace a broader vision of unity and common good. However, as history progressed, and human societies became more complex, more territorial, and unfortunately, more prone to conflict, the eagle's image began to shift. The very qualities that made it a symbol of peace, its strength, its keen eyesight, its dominance in the skies were reinterpreted through a different lens. No longer just a messenger of peace, it became a harbinger of war. During times of conflict, the eagle's powerful talons and piercing gaze were seen as metaphors for military might and strategic advantage. It stood for defense, for the unwavering resolve to protect one's homeland, and for the courage to face down any enemy. Armies marched under banners, emblazoned with eagles, drawing inspiration from its predatory prowess and its reputation as an apex hunter. It became a rallying cry, a symbol to inspire soldiers with bravery and to instill fear in their adversaries. The shift was profound. From an emblem of serene idealism, it transformed into a fierce guardian, a symbol of national strength ready for battle. Consider the Roman Empire. For instance, the aquila, the Roman eagle standard, was not just a military emblem. It was the very soul of the legion. Losing an aquila was an unspeakable disgrace, a sign of utter defeat. It represented the power, the might, and the unwavering discipline of Rome itself. When the legions marched, the eagle led the way, a testament to their dominance and their ambition to conquer. Here, the eagle wasn't about peace. It was about conquest, order imposed by force, and the projection of unparalleled power across vast territories. This duality is really quite remarkable, isn't it? In peace, the eagle symbolized unity and freedom. It represented the coming together of people, the soaring aspirations for a better future, and the inalienable right to liberty. It spoke to the ideals of a nation, the shared values that bind its citizens, and the pursuit of collective well-being. It was about shared prosperity, about innovation, and about building a society where individuals could thrive. A free spirit, unburdened and soaring high. But then, when the drums of war began to beat, the same eagle transformed into a symbol of defense and strength. It became the protector, the unwavering sentinel guarding the nation's borders and its cherished values. It represented the resilience of a people, their readiness to stand firm against threats, and their determination to preserve their way of life. The eagle's sharp vision became the vigilance needed to detect danger, its powerful wings the force required to strike back. And this brings us to patriotism. The eagle, whether representing peace or war, became deeply intertwined with national identity. It transcended mere symbolism to become an embodiment of the nation's spirit. For many countries, including the United States, the eagle is more than just a bird. It's a living monument to national ideals. From the Great Seal of the United States, where the bald eagle holds an olive branch of peace in one talon and arrows of war in the other, we see this perfect encapsulation of its timeless duality. This isn't just a historical anecdote, it's a living story. Even today, the eagle continues to evoke a powerful sense of patriotism, a deep love for one's country, and a commitment to its founding principles. It represents a shared heritage, a common destiny, and the collective memory of struggles and triumphs. It reminds us that nations, much like the eagle, possess both a capacity for peace and a formidable strength when challenged. It's a symbol that encourages us to stand tall, to see clearly, and to protect what we hold dear, whether that's the tranquility of peace or the necessity of defense. So, the eagle's journey from a symbol of peace to one of war, from idealism to patriotism, is a fascinating reflection of human history. It reminds us that even the most enduring symbols are not fixed. They evolve with us, mirroring our greatest hopes and our deepest fears. It embodies the complex, often contradictory, nature of national identity, a timeless duality, much like the history of many nations themselves. It truly makes you think about how much meaning we project onto the world around us, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me on this symbolic journey today. If you found this exploration of the eagle's shifting meanings as captivating as I did, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history and symbolism. Your support helps this channel grow, and I love having you all here. See you in the next one. Can you imagine a world without the bald eagle? A sky where America's national symbol is just a memory, a picture in an old book. It sounds impossible, but in the 20th century, we came dangerously close to that reality. This is the story of how a nation almost lost its emblem, and the incredible fight to bring it back from the brink. This is Chapter 16. The endangered national symbol. For nearly 2 centuries after being named America's national bird, the bald eagle soared across the continent, a powerful symbol of freedom and majesty. From the coasts of Florida to the forests of Alaska, their numbers were strong, estimated to be as high as 500,000. They were a common sight, their white heads like beacons in the sky. But as the 19th century gave way to the 20th, a shadow began to fall over this iconic species. The world was changing, and for the bald eagle, these changes would prove to be nearly fatal. The first major threat was, tragically, us. As human populations expanded, we moved into the eagle's territory. Forests were cleared for farms and cities, pushing eagles from their nesting sites. But it was more than just habitat loss. A wave of persecution began. Eagles were seen as a threat to livestock, accused of snatching lambs, chickens, and even small pigs. While these attacks were rare and often exaggerated, it was enough to paint the eagle as a villain. Bounties were placed on their heads in some areas. They were shot, trapped, and poisoned with a shocking lack of foresight. It was a war against our own national symbol, driven by misinformation and fear. The very bird chosen to represent the nation's strength was being systematically destroyed by its own people. But the most insidious threat was yet to come. It was silent, invisible, and far more deadly than any bullet. Following World War II, a new era of chemical innovation dawned. Among the most celebrated inventions was a pesticide called DDT. It was hailed as a miracle, incredibly effective at killing insects like mosquitoes that carried malaria and other diseases. It was sprayed liberally across farmland, marshes, and suburbs to control pests. No one understood the devastating chain reaction they had just set in motion. DDT didn't just disappear. It washed into rivers and lakes, where it was absorbed by small fish and aquatic life. These smaller fish were then eaten by larger fish, and the concentration of DDT grew with each step up the food chain. At the top of this aquatic food chain was the bald eagle. As eagles ate contaminated fish, the DDT accumulated in their bodies to toxic levels. The poison didn't kill the adult eagles outright. Instead, it attacked the very foundation of their future. The chemical interfered with their ability to process calcium, a vital component for strong eggshells. When the female eagles laid their eggs, the shells were thin, brittle, and fragile. They were often crushed under the weight of the incubating parents. Nests that should have been filled with the chirps of healthy eaglets fell silent. An entire generation was being wiped out before it even had a chance to hatch. The symbol of American strength was producing eggs as delicate as glass. By the early 1960s, the once mighty bald eagle population had collapsed. In the lower 48 states, fewer than 450 nesting pairs remained. The skies over much of America were empty of their presence. The national symbol was fading into extinction, a victim of persecution and poison. It was a sobering moment. The potential loss of the bald eagle became a powerful and painful symbol of the environmental damage we were inflicting upon the planet and upon ourselves. The very emblem of our nation was dying, and its decline served as a stark warning. But just as despair set in, a new movement began to stir. Scientists and conservationists started to connect the dots. Rachel Carson's groundbreaking 1962 book, Silent Spring, exposed the dangers of pesticides like DDT to the world. It was a wake-up call that resonated across the country. People began to realize that the eagle's plight was a reflection of a much larger crisis. The fight to save the bald eagle became a rallying cry for the modern environmental movement. Change, thankfully, began to happen. In 1972, a landmark decision was made. The United States banned the use of DDT. This was the first critical step. Without the constant flow of poison into the environment, the ecosystem could begin the slow process of healing. But the ban alone wasn't enough. The eagle population was so small that it needed direct protection to recover. Congress stepped up, strengthening laws like the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act and passing the crucial Endangered Species Act of 1973. This powerful piece of legislation gave the federal government the authority to protect not just the birds themselves, but also their essential habitats, the nesting trees and feeding grounds they needed to survive and raise their young. The eagle was no longer just a symbol. It was a protected species with the full force of federal law behind it. The recovery effort was a massive undertaking. Biologists climbed towering trees to monitor nests and protect fragile eggs. In some cases, they carefully removed thin-shelled eggs from nests, incubated them in labs, and then returned the healthy chicks to their parents. Hacking programs were established, where young eagles raised in captivity were released into safe, historic territories, helping to re-establish populations where they had vanished completely. Slowly, painstakingly, it began to work. The number of nesting pairs started to climb, first by the dozens, then by the hundreds, and then by the thousands. Eagles began to reappear in places they hadn't been seen for decades. A nest in New York City, a sighting over the suburbs of Philadelphia, each one was a victory, a sign that the nation's emblem was making a comeback. In 1995, the bald eagle's status was upgraded from endangered to threatened. Then, in a truly historic moment, in 2007, it was removed from the endangered species list altogether. The story of the bald eagle is more than just the rescue of a single species. It is a profound lesson in humility and a testament to the power of collective action. It reminds us that even our most cherished national symbols are not invincible, and that our actions have deep and lasting consequences on the natural world. But it is also a story of hope. It proves that when we recognize our mistakes, listen to the science, and work together, we can reverse the damage we have done. We can give nature and ourselves a second chance. The bald eagle's return to us, guys, is a living, soaring symbol of America's capacity for redemption and renewal. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. If you found this story as inspiring as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more chapters from our natural world. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time. Welcome, bike history buffs and story lovers. We've reached the final chapter of our tale, the turkey's quiet triumph. Now, we all know how the official story ends. The bald eagle, with its majestic wingspan and fierce gaze, soared into the history books as the symbol of the United States. A decision made, a seal cast, a nation's identity forged in the image of a powerful predator. It seems like a clear victory for the eagle, right? Case closed. But history, as we've learned, is rarely that simple. While the eagle was busy gracing our currency and official documents, another bird was quietly making its way into the very heart of American life. A bird that Benjamin Franklin had so passionately championed. And this is where our story takes a fascinating and, frankly, delicious turn. The turkey may have lost the political battle in the halls of Congress, but it won a much more profound, much more intimate war. The battle for the American heart. And it did so not through legislation, but through tradition. It found its place not on a flagpole, but on the dinner table. Think about it. What's the one image that comes to mind when you hear the word Thanksgiving? For millions of Americans, it's a golden brown, perfectly roasted turkey, sitting proudly at the center of a table laden with food, surrounded by family and friends. It's the centerpiece of a day dedicated to gratitude, to togetherness, to reflecting on the blessings of the year. The eagle might be a symbol of our nation's strength and freedom, but the turkey has become a symbol of our nation's soul. Every November, as families gather, the turkey presides over this uniquely American ritual. It's a tradition that has transcended generations, state lines, and cultural differences. It's a shared experience, a collective memory baked into the very fabric of our national identity. The smell of roasting turkey is, for many, the smell of home, of holidays, of love. So, was Benjamin Franklin really wrong? He championed the turkey for its courage and its distinctly American origins. He saw it as a true, original native of America, while the eagle was chosen for its symbolism of power. Perhaps Franklin saw something deeper: the turkey's potential to represent community and abundance. He might not have envisioned it exactly this way, but his chosen bird did, in fact, become a national icon. The eagle represents the republic, the ideals we strive for, the nation as a political entity. It's the face we show the world. The turkey, on the other hand, represents the family, the community, the gratitude that binds us together. It's the face we show each other around the dinner table. It's a quiet triumph, not of power, but of presence. While the eagle soars in the sky, a distant and awe-inspiring figure, the turkey is right there with us, a tangible part of our most cherished moments. It doesn't need a congressional resolution to be important. Its status is reaffirmed year after year in millions of homes across the country. It's a tradition passed down from parents to children, a silent promise of reunion and thankfulness. So, in the great symbolic contest between the eagle and the turkey, maybe there wasn't a loser after all. Perhaps the outcome was the most American thing possible. A compromise. We got two national birds, one for our government and one for our homes. One to represent our ideals and one to represent our gratitude. The bold eagle became the emblem of the nation, but the turkey, in its own quiet, humble way, became the emblem of the national family. It's a beautiful duality, isn't it? One bird inspires us to look up to the heavens, to aspire to greatness. The other invites us to sit down, to leave thanks, and to appreciate the blessings right in front of us. Both are essential parts of the American story. The eagle may have the official title, but the turkey will forever hold a special place in our hearts and on our tables, a delicious and enduring symbol of what truly matters. And that, my friends, is the turkey's quiet and perhaps ultimate triumph. It didn't need to be on the Great Seal to become a great American icon. It just needed to be part of our story, part of our families, part of our gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through a fascinating piece of American history. It's been a blast exploring these stories with you. If you enjoyed this series, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't even forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss our next historical deep dive. We've got plenty more amazing stories to share. Until next time, stay curious. Have you ever really thought about what it means to be strong? I mean, truly, deeply strong. We often throw that word around, don't we? We see a weightlifter hoisting hundreds of pounds, and we say, wow, they're strong. We see a powerful leader, a CEO, a military general, and we think, that's strength. We look at the majestic eagle, with its sharp talons and piercing gaze, soaring high above the world, and we see it as the ultimate symbol of power and strength, and it is. There's no denying the eagle. It's a magnificent force. It represents a kind of strength that commands respect, a strength that is visible, proud, and aspirational. It's the strength of the conqueror, the visionary, the one who rises above. But what if I told you there's another kind of strength? A quieter, less glamorous, but equally profound form of strength. It's the kind of strength that doesn't always get the spotlight. It's the strength of resilience, of getting back up after you've been knocked down. It's the strength of integrity, of holding true to your values even when it's hard. It's the strength of renewal, of shedding the old to make way for the new. This is where our story takes a surprising turn. From the sky to the ground to an often underestimated bird, the wild turkey. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A turkey? Really? The bird we associate with Thanksgiving dinner and goofy gobbles. How can that possibly be a symbol of strength? But bear with me. Think about the wild turkey. It's a survivor. It's grounded, literally. It forages. It's resourceful. It works with the earth. It represents a strength that comes from community, from being part of a flock. It's a humble strength, one that doesn't need to shout from the mountaintops. The turkey endures harsh winters, avoids predators, and raises its young with a quiet determination. This is the strength of persistence. It's the strength of showing up, day in and day out, and doing the work. It's not about the dramatic, soaring flight. It's about the steady, determined walk. So, we have these two incredible symbols, the eagle and the turkey. One represents the strength of ambition, of reaching for the stars, of individual power and pride. The other represents the strength of humility, of resilience, of community, and of the quiet, unwavering spirit. It's easy to see them as opposites, as a dichotomy of power versus persistence. But what if they aren't opposites at all? What if they are two sides of the same coin? Two essential components of what true, complete strength really is. This brings me to a thought I've been wrestling with, a reflection on the very soul of a nation, like America. We chose the bald eagle as our national bird, and for good reason. It embodies the ideals of freedom, of soaring ambition, of the power to shape our own destiny. We look at the eagle and we see the spirit of the pioneers, the innovators, the dreamers who built this country. It's the pride, the confidence, the belief that anything is possible. That's the eagle in us. It's the declaration of independence, the pursuit of happiness, the bold vision that we hold so dear. But we can't forget the turkey. Ben Franklin, in a famous letter, half-jokingly championed the turkey as a better national symbol. He called the eagle a bird of bad moral character, while he praised the turkey as a much more respectable bird, and a true, original native of America. While it might have been tongue-in-cheek, he was on to something profound. The turkey represents the other side of the American spirit. It's the spirit of the farmer, the factory worker, the teacher, the nurse. It's the strength of our communities, of neighbors helping neighbors after a storm. It has the humility of admitting when we wrong and the resilience to pick ourselves up and try to be better. It's the spirit of thanksgiving, not just the feast, but the gratitude, the coming together, the appreciation for the harvest that comes from hard, honest work. True strength for a person or for a nation isn't just about having claws and a sharp beak. It's not just about being the most powerful in the room. That kind of strength can be brittle. It can be arrogant. If you only focus on the eagle, you risk losing touch with the ground. You risk forgetting the importance of humility and the quiet dignity of hard work. You risk becoming so proud that you can't see your own flaws. Conversely, if you only focus on the turkey, you might lose your ambition. You might forget to dream, to reach for the sky. You might become so focused on just getting by that you forget to strive for greatness. You might settle for survival when you're capable of soaring. The real magic, the secret to a deep and abiding strength, lies in the balance. It's about having the heart of an eagle and the spirit of a turkey. It's knowing when to soar and when to walk. It's having the pride to dream big, and the humility to do the daily, unglamorous work required to make those dreams a reality. It's the ability to be a fierce individual and a cooperative member of the flock. Think about it in your own life. We all have moments when we need to be the eagle, when we need to be bold, take a risk, stand up for what we believe in, and pursue our highest aspirations. This is the strength of taking that new job, of starting your own business, of speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. It is about having the vision to see a better future and the courage to fly towards it. But we also have moments, perhaps even more of them, when we need to be the turkey, when we need to be resilient in the face of setbacks, when we need to have the humility to learn from our mistakes, to ask for help, to serve others. This is the strength of showing up for your family every single day. It's the strength of grinding through a difficult project. It's the integrity of doing the right thing when no one is watching. It's the quiet power of renewal, of letting go of old grudges or past failures and starting fresh each morning. This delicate dance between pride and humility, between the sky and the ground, is the essence of what it means to be whole. It's a philosophical journey that each of us is on. Strength isn't a static destination. It's a dynamic process of renewal and integration. It's about integrating our power with our compassion, our ambition with our integrity. So the next time you see an eagle soaring in the sky, feel that sense of awe and inspiration. Let it remind you of your own potential for greatness. But the next time you see a flock of wild turkeys, maybe crossing the road with that odd, determined gait, give them a nod of respect. Let them remind you of the power of resilience, the dignity of humility, and the quiet strength it takes to simply endure and thrive, day after day. Because true strength isn't just about the power to conquer. It's about the resilience to endure, the integrity to stay true, and the grace to be renewed. It's about embracing both the eagle and the turkey within ourselves. Thank you so much for joining me on this little philosophical journey today. I hope it gave you something to think about. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and maybe share it with someone who embodies that perfect blend of eagle and turkey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does strength mean to you? Until next time, stay strong in all the ways that matter. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our journey through history's most powerful symbols. Today, we arrive at a truly inspiring chapter. The eagle takes flight again. For centuries, we've seen this majestic bird represent empires, gods, and immense power. But in modern times, its story takes on a new, profound meaning, especially as a living emblem of endurance and freedom. As the 20th century dawned, the world was changing faster than ever before. Industrialization, world wars, and the clash of ideologies reshaped nations. Amidst this turbulence, the eagle, particularly the bald eagle in the United States, faced a new kind of threat, not from rival empires, but from humanity's own progress. Habitat loss, hunting, and the widespread use of pesticides like DDT pushed this magnificent creature to the brink of extinction. By the mid-20th century, the very symbol of American liberty was in peril. Its cry was growing faint. This was a critical moment. If the symbol of freedom couldn't survive, what did that say about the ideals it represented? The potential loss of the eagle served as a powerful wake-up call. It was a stark reminder that the principles we cherish, freedom, resilience, and the health of our natural world, require active protection. They cannot be taken for granted. The eagle's struggle became a reflection of society's own challenges to balance progress with preservation and to protect our heritage for future generations. And then something incredible happened. People took action. A groundswell of public concern led to one of the most successful conservation movements in history. The Endangered Species Act of 1973 became a landmark piece of legislation. It wasn't just about saving a bird. It was about a nation collectively deciding that its most cherished symbol was worth fighting for. Scientists, conservationists, and ordinary citizens rallied together. They worked tirelessly to clean up habitats, ban harmful chemicals, and create safe nesting sites. It was a long, arduous process, but slowly and surely, the eagle began to return. The recovery of the bald eagle is more than just an environmental success story. It's a powerful metaphor for our own capacity for renewal. It proves that even when things seem dire, when our ideals are threatened and our future looks uncertain, we have the power to turn things around. The eagle's flight, once faltering, became strong and confident again. Its soaring presence in the skies was no longer a rare sight, but a testament to what can be achieved through collective will and determination. It showed that the spirit of endurance was not just an abstract idea, but a living, breathing reality. Today, the eagle is thriving once more. But its symbolism hasn't remained static. In a world that is more interconnected than ever, the eagle's image continues to represent strength and authority. But it has also taken on a broader meaning. It reminds us of our responsibility to be stewards of our planet. When we see an eagle, we are reminded of the delicate balance of nature and our role within it. Its comeback story has become a global symbol of hope for conservation efforts everywhere, inspiring similar movements to protect other endangered species around the world. Think about where we see the eagle today. It's not just a relic of the past, confined to history books. It's right here with us, woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Look at a passportite. There, representing the freedom to travel and connect with the world. It's pressed onto presidential seals, a symbol of leadership and national sovereignty. It's carved into the stone of our most important monuments, a silent guardian of our collective memory and aspirations. Each time we see it, we're not just looking at a bird. We are seeing a living link to our past and a beacon for our future. It is a reminder that freedom is not a static state, but an ongoing process that requires vigilance, care, and sometimes a fight. The eagle's story mirrors our own national and personal journeys full of trials, near falls, but ultimately, defined by the relentless drive to rise again. The eagle's soaring flight represents the high ideals we strive for: justice, liberty, and the pursuit of a better world. Its keen vision reminds us to look ahead with clarity and purpose, to see the challenges on the horizon and face them head-on. And its sheer resilience, its ability to come back from the edge of oblivion, gives us hope that no matter how difficult the times, we too can endure and overcome. So, the next time you see an eagle, whether it's soaring high in the sky or depicted on a national emblem, take a moment to reflect on its incredible journey. It is a story of survival, a testament to the power of collective action, and a living, breathing symbol of freedom's enduring spirit. It teaches us that our heritage, both natural and ideological, is precious and worth protecting. The eagle has taken flight again, not just in our skies, but in our hearts and minds. It carries with it the lessons of the past and the promise of the future, a timeless reminder that even after the darkest storms, the spirit of freedom will always find a way to soar. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through the symbolism of the eagle. It's been an honor to explore its rich history with you. If you enjoyed this series and want to see more content like it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We'll see you in the next video. Hey, Everyone, and welcome back. We've journeyed through so much together in this series, exploring ideas, stories, and insights that I hope have resonated with you as deeply as they have with me. As we reach our final chapter, Chapter 20, aptly titled, Closing Reflections. The sky above freedom. I want to take a moment to really soak in what we've learned. Think about it. We've discussed countless topics, from the smallest personal triumphs to the grandest societal shifts. We've looked at the challenges we face and the incredible resilience we find within ourselves. And through it all, there's been an underlying current, a persistent whisper of what it means to be truly free, truly strong, and truly hopeful. As we bring this series to a close, I want you to visualize something with me. Imagine a wide, open sky. It's expansive, limitless, and ever-changing. This isn't just any sky. It's our asterisk sky. It's the backdrop to every moment of our lives, silently witnessing our struggles and our victories. The inspiration for this final reflection came from a thought that kept circling in my mind. We often look for symbols, don't we? Symbols of nations, symbols of ideals, symbols of personal strength. In America, we often talk about the majestic eagle, soaring high, representing freedom and power. Some might even humorously suggest the turkey, a more grounded, perhaps more communal symbol. But what if the truest symbol isn't just one creature, however grand or humble? What if, in the end, the most profound symbol of America and indeed, of the human spirit isn't the eagle or the turkey alone? What if it's something far vaster? Something that encompasses everything we've ever aspired to be. Take a moment. Look up, even if it's just in your mind's eye. See that endless blue, or perhaps the stars twinkling at night. It's the sky, right? The very sky these magnificent birds, the eagle and the turkey, share. And in that sharing, in that vast, open space, lies a deeper meaning. This sky, my friends, is a canvas. It's a canvas of hope, because no matter how dark the storm clouds, the sun will always rise again, painting new colors across its expanse. It's a canvas of strength, because it endures, ever present, holding the weight of our dreams and our realities with silent steadfastness. And most importantly, it's a canvas of the freedom to choose who we become. Think about the sheer potential held within that idea. The sky doesn't dictate your path. It simply exists, offering boundless space for you to fly, to journey, to explore. It allows for differences, for variety, for countless journeys to unfold beneath its watch. Just as the eagle and the turkey, distinct in their nature, both thrive under the same sky, so do we, as individuals, find our unique paths within the shared expanse of possibility. This freedom to choose who we become isn't a given. It's a gift we must actively embrace and protect. It's the freedom to learn, to grow, to make mistakes, and to pick ourselves up again. It's the freedom to define our own success, to pursue our passions, and to build the lives we envision for ourselves. It's the freedom to evolve, to transform, and to constantly strive for a better version of ourselves and a better world around us. This concept extends beyond individual aspirations it speaks to our communities, our societies, and our collective journey. The sky above freedom isn't just for one person, it's for everyone. It's a shared heritage, a shared responsibility, and a shared promise. We all exist under this one sky, and our actions, our choices, echo through its vastness, affecting not just ourselves, but those around us. So, as we close this chapter, and indeed, this entire series, I want to leave you with this powerful image. Whenever you feel hemmed in, whenever you question your path, or whenever you need a reminder of your own incredible potential, look up, or simply close your eyes and imagine that boundless sky. Let it be your symbol, a symbol that reminds you that hope is always there, even when it's obscured by clouds. A symbol that reminds you of your inherent strength, a resilience as vast as the heavens themselves, and most profoundly, a symbol of the incredible, unyielding freedom you possess to sculpt your own destiny, to choose who you become, day by day, moment by moment. This journey we've shared has been about discovery, about peeling back layers, and about finding deeper meaning in the world around us. And if there's one message I hope you carry forward, it's that your potential is as limitless as the sky above you. Your choices matter. Your growth is paramount, and the freedom to shape your own narrative is one of the most precious gifts you possess. So, as we part ways for now, carry this reflection with you. Let it inspire you, comfort you, and empower you. Remember, the sky is not the limit. It is the invitation, an invitation to hope, to strength, and to the boundless freedom of becoming. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. Your engagement, your comments, and your presence have meant the world. If you found value in this series, please consider hitting that like button, sharing this video with someone who might need to hear this message, and of course subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on what's coming next. Until next time, keep looking up, and keep choosing to become the amazing person you are meant to be. Take care, and I'll see you soon.